Broadcasting live from across the United States, this is the Multitapped Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Multitapped Podcast version 2.0. This is episode 15. We're going to be talking about the E3 topics tonight. Joining me this evening is Joshua Tiberius of Test Your Might on YouTube.
Shinjinru!
Jay the Dolly Popka.
Wait, didn't we do this already? Where the hell am I?
And Old One Eye.
This is deja fucking vu all over again, man. I don't even know. I can't handle this shit.
And I am Jay Dubious of Dubious Gaming online from YouTube and other websites such as Twitch, which we're broadcasting on here. We're doing the E3 topics this evening, pretty much going over what we saw broadcast over the last few press events. And we'll be just kind of working our way through it. We'll be talking about the Ubisoft conference, the Bethesda conference, Sony, Microsoft, and the game that Nintendo showed. So anyways, we should just get right into it with the Ubisoft conference. First up, we have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I don't think anyone really cares about this game, or do you guys have any thoughts on it?
Wait, you're the Tom. You like Rainbow Six and shit. You go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah, I guess.
No, I have. No, I do not. I'm not a Tom Clancy fan, but I was just saying this game is just basically co-op, just cause, slapping Tom Clancy on it. That's what they do.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, they have diluted that brand.
If that's as little as we're going to talk about it, my big thing is I've been unimpressed by the Tom Clancy games for a while. Admittingly, I haven't played Siege or whatever the last one was. That actually, from what I hear, is wildly fun.
Siege
I just haven't got a chance.
That was like the first Tom Clancy game I actually thought looked okay.
Yeah, I actually really want to play that because it looks good. It's just if I don't have 4 people to play with, I'm not going to waste my money on it. I have so many games ready to play with people. You know what I mean?
Nothing but good things about Siege. The people I know who have played it have really enjoyed it. And I think that's like the true successor to the old Tom Clancy games. These other ones like The Division and Wildlands, it's just...
Yeah, okay, first off, fuck The Division. I never...
Yeah.
That game...
We'll save that. We can save that, man.
But yeah, we'll get into that sometime.
Well, they talked about it at their conference, too, which is surprising because it's already out.
Well, we'll get to it when we get to the updates for it. Like, the last classic Tom Clancy game I enjoyed was probably Rainbow Six Siege 2, or whichever the one was in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
Vegas. They all blend together, dude. I don't give a fuck. Point being, though, that I just don't care about the games. They seem like a really stale franchise, and this, another Ghost Recon game isn't exactly going to light that fire for me. And the reaction that I've heard from a lot of people and my friends who are there, too, is just nobody really cares. I
wonder if you have to climb towers to unveil the map.
Yeah.
Honestly, from what I feel like it's probably a fine game, and I'd probably have fun playing it, but I don't see how I'd ever... I'm never going to do that. So, it's a game's just not for me. So,
yeah, that's the thing is Ubisoft makes, competent video games, but they're never things that I'd, would really want to buy.
Rayman. Come on now. Those games are great.
Which one?
Rayman, Legends and things like that.
Oh, those are okay.
Those games are super fun. I would rate them higher than okay. I think that's a wildly underappreciated IP.
That's fair.
But, moving on, yeah, nobody gives a shit about Wildlands from what I can tell. It seems underwhelming at best.
Yeah, you throw Tom Clancy on something, I'm just completely brain dead after you end up saying the word Clancy. So next up we have, this was actually leaked, I'm pretty sure, about 2 or 3 days before the actual press conference, and that's Watch Dogs 2, which I'm sure everyone saw coming.
Dude, are they seriously trying to sell what's on Watch Dogs again? You fucked up.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
twice. Yeah, it's exactly. I gotta be honest. Why do you need a cell phone to pull a fucking lever 3 feet from you? Did y'all see that in the gameplay demo? The guy hacks the fucking crane lever. It is right the fuck there. And you, I just don't.
Coming soon, Millennial Tomb Raider.
Yeah, shit, it's an analog clock. I need to hack into it to figure out what time it is.
Yeah. I mean, did any of you guys end up playing the original Watch Dogs at all? Much? Or...
Nope.
No, the press was so bad, I didn't see a reason to. Honestly, I watched like streams of it, and I watched it. It didn't look like it played all that well.
It didn't. I played it actually quite a bit the week of release of it, and it took me about 6 days to realize that I hadn't had any fun the entire time I'd been playing it.
What have I been doing with my life?
Exactly, yeah. At a certain point, I was just like, wait a second. None of these story missions are actually fun. And none of this is fun. Like, and the fact of the matter is like, one of the worst things about the original Watch Dogs was the car chases, which in, like, GTA, you're usually able to get away by either shooting at the police or just, like, hiding or something. With Watch Dogs, the police are relentless, and you're unable to shoot out of your car or have really any kind of defense other than your little cell phone making things happen as you drive by.
Maybe you need to hack
Let's
the gun
hack
to
them!
shoot it. No, maybe you need to hack the gun to shoot it.
Yeah,
I think that's what you
gun
messed
to
up
shoot
on.
them in the head. So I don't know. Like, I might try Watch Dogs 2, but the fact of the matter is the first game had the exact same 6 missions repeating over and over. A weak plot, okay graphics, but I don't know. Fool me once, shame on you.
I mean, yeah, like, let's just look at how they pitched the whole game, too. Like, when they showed Watch Dogs originally, they were like, it's fucking hacker GTA and it's beautiful, and then they released it and they're like, wah, wah. Like, it's super false advertising, it was in development, and then, like, now they're like, ooh, we're selling a sequel to that thing you all fucking hated. Aren't you excited?
Yeah, let's talk about downscaling graphics and stuff. Like, oh yeah, it looked pretty good this time. What's it going to look like when it tries to actually
Well,
play?
at least the next gen consoles are out now, so it should be a little bit more realistic than it was.
Well, I mean, but so burned though. That's like the death of hype, and then I don't think anybody bought it. I mean, the crowd reacted, but that's because they're shills. So, but other than that, I don't think anybody bought it.
Watch Dogs 2, now with graphics.
Hopefully, man, no. I think that's all. Watch Dogs 2, no.
No. So next
Please, Dubious, please keep making me laugh with this Ubisoft conference, because I didn't bother watching it.
No, I
This is
didn't.
hilarious.
I mean, with Ubisoft, I usually just read the highlights, because if I have to watch another Girlwood hashtag, I'm just going to die.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I bet I'll watch.
So cringe. That whole presentation was just
2
cringe
years
city.
ago, that was really bad.
Oh my god! And don't get me wrong, I'm blanking that comedian's name, but she's fantastic. I mean, Lana's one of the best parts of Archer. Like, everything she does, she kills. But watching that, it was just like, oh god, why are you doing this to my culture, please?
Aisha Tyler.
Yeah, stop defiling horrible scripts. You can do better. It's not worth the money. Like,
Yeah, well, you know what they do in Hollywood is they pay a writing staff to write shit. They don't just do it in-house with, like, a couple businessmen trying to figure out some shit, like, internet culture jokes. So, next up on the Ubisoft list, we have Steep. Are you guys familiar with this one?
Yeah,
Isn't
skiing game, right?
Yeah, basically the trailer they showed at E3 looked like a Warren Miller trailer, which I found hilarious. So I'm sure, like, all the ski buffs might get, like, really into it. And it is about time we had another ski game, but I don't...
Oh, yes.
I'm not, like, interested at all, really.
No, I was totally put off at first, but as I watched the pitch for it, I could see that being a good time. Honestly, it reminds me of, like, somebody, I'm not sure what commenter said this, but it's like SSX tricky a little bit, maybe, but not exactly, but it gives you that just, they're talking about how it's a fun play vibe and how it's not, I don't know how structured it is. It doesn't look very structured, but I mean, watching those guys, like, base jumping and then doing that race down the mountain, and then watching some guy, like, just die, just hit the side and just whoa, and make these crazy screaming noises. It's pretty entertaining, and it looked pretty fast paced and kind of intense. I don't know, like, I'm not the kind of guy that would get into, like, an extreme sports kind of game like that, but I mean, I would think this generation needs a Tony Hawk, right?
Oh, well, I mean, there was Tony Hawk 5, but that definitely was not a Tony Hawk.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. A new franchise to take the task the torch to because of the travesty that was.
I mean, in the past, especially in what was it, the 6th generation of games, snowboarding and stuff and skiing games were extremely popular with the Cool Borders series and the 1080 series. So I think it is time to see a resurgence, possibly, of that particular genre. I mean, I don't think it's not really for me, but I think graphically, like, what they can do with it should be pretty interesting, at least.
No other comments on that?
All right.
Those games, like Tricky was fun, but once they moved to the open world style in like SSX 3 or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, whatever one that is. Yeah, I stopped at Tricky too.
With the games, like Tricky was great because it was like an arcade style snowboarding game, kind of like 1080 and things like that, which is what I grew up with and had more fun. So open.
I love the dog's reaction to the game. Fuck this shit. And just walks off.
Yeah, she's not interested either, but she's old. Old people don't care about open world skiing games.
Actually, what I'd like to see is a Snowboard Kids 3.
Hell yeah.
That's what we need in this day and age.
Like I like those. Like those were the ones I enjoyed a lot. You know what I mean? Where there's more about like time attack and downhill speed and power ups and shit. Hyper realistic open world skiing game is not something I'm super interested in. Like if it was a game in Grand Theft Auto 5 maybe, but as a whole game, not really something I'm interested in purchasing.
I think
take that shit back to Breckenridge.
Yeah, like.
Word, but so the next up in terms of Ubisoft, it's one of the games or probably the game I'm the most excited for on their roster, and that is the South Park sequel, Fractured Butthole.
No doubt, that was like the most exciting thing they showed for sure.
That trailer too was awesome. I don't know if you guys caught the whole trailer, especially with the ending of the trailer with PC Principal showing up.
Oh no, it was good, man. It was.
Someone making a microaggression here, bro.
I mean, the first game is pretty much the best South Park game ever. So,
without the best South Park game, I think you could make the argument that it's one of the better RPGs that's come out in the past few years. Like, honestly, it was a really solid, well-made game, and I think it's smart.
RPG since Persona 4 stamped it.
And I think the fact that
it's solid.
They're bundling the first game with Fractured Butthole. I think that's a really smart move too. And as long as it's up to the quality of the first game, because the only real issues I had with the first game were primarily around the balancing of the game. It felt kind of broken, you know what I mean? Like, you would stack debuffs and every enemy would just...
No, exactly. Yeah, you could just... If you have any kind of gaming skill, like at all, you can basically, the first time through, make a character so strong that you're just going to rape everything.
But the game was amazing. It was well written. It was well put together. Sound design was flawless. Like, nothing but praise for the first game. So hopefully the second game does as well.
Which classes did you guys play as the first time through on the original game?
I want to say I did warrior.
I was a thief.
Yeah, I played thief as well.
That.
And the thief had all that poison damage that you could just stack. I did find that was the one thing that I disliked, is it was really easy.
But I thought the experience of just walking around that little mountain town was just worth it. I mean, I just open up people's doors and there's a guy fucking a horse. That's just great, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's just like, what other game can say that? What other game can provide you with that experience? I say no other.
Oh yeah, no. I think the most memorable part is when you're in that kid's parents' bedroom, and there's that one boss fight where you have to like dodge the balls flying at you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything. You could tell that Matt and Trey really made it a South Park episode. It really felt like it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing that was pivotal to its success. Was it didn't just feel like it was a cash grab. It actually felt, its heart was in it. It felt like South Park.
This is spoilers. Essentially, yeah, I guess we are getting a little spoilery.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that's a little too much spoiler in there. That's why I was trying not to say anything. But like, I think in the end,
that's bullshit because we didn't say diddly dicks about the plot. Like literally, all we did was
yeah.
So, yeah,
and there are so many great moments in that game that there'll be others to surprise you.
The spoiler in the sense of saying Titanic happens on a boat, but
Titanic happens on a boat.
Spoil for sure.
So I guess, yeah, we could probably move on, but everybody's super excited for that new South Park.
Yeah,
game,
basically take my money. Basically just
that's a day one buy, no problem. Like the first South Park game, I actually, when it came out, I sat down and played through the entire game in one sitting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you could definitely do that too.
And it's a 13-hour game, but you could do it.
Oh no, you could. Yeah, if you can, I think you could power through it and do it. Yeah, I didn't, but.
So next up we have For Honor. Did you guys catch that trailer?
Yes.
It looks super generic and could not give a fuck less.
I was more sold than the last time I saw it, but that being said, I honestly I think it looks good. There are some people who are very hyped for that game. I don't know where it's coming from exactly, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks fine.
I mean, it doesn't look bad in the way that Rise, Son of Rome didn't look bad necessarily, but it also looks about as generic as you could possibly get with a video game.
Yeah, no, they didn't really pick one army style, did they? They just kind of like, oh, we're going to throw together a bunch of generic types of armor and combatants.
Yeah, it's like ninja versus Viking versus like
cowboy
knight.
and alien.
Yeah. Well, if there's a cowboy in there, I might be down like that. I'd be way more down if you're a cowboy just slaughtering medieval knights.
Wait for the DLC, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Well, either way, anyone have any thoughts on that besides that? I mean, I don't.
No, don't give up. It's a pretty good description for it. I'm in your camp on who the fuck cares, man. Give me something original and fun and looks like something I want to spend money on.
Well, next up we have something original. The Division.
Listen, I guess we can go ahead and talk about it because the Division came up in a couple of conferences. Listen, developers and everybody, speaking directly to you, nobody gives a fuck about the Division. Why did you waste your fucking time? Nobody cares. It was dead on arrival. Just quit.
Well, I haven't been really interested in playing like an MMO FPS? Is that what the genre is called? Like that and like Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, it's third person or whatever, but it's the same style of game. See, for me, it's like, why would you play that over Borderlands?
Exactly. Especially if it's Tom Clancy, there's supposed to be some semblance of realism, and you got just bullet spongy enemies. It's just fucking stupid. Fuck it, man. The Division was a big letdown for me. Like, oh, totally. Because I was on the hype train for that for a couple of years, and then when the product came out, just no good.
Yeah, once I started seeing gameplay, I was like, well, that's just fucking streamer bait. What's up, Destiny 2.0? Like,
yep. So I mean, that's really all I gotta say. The new expansion of Destiny, who cares? Nobody cares. Where's your player base? I don't know where they are.
I still can't believe they were saying that game's supposed to have a 10-year life cycle.
Yeah, they were wrong.
I don't see that happening. Like, there's no way. The fan base for that game is already dying so fast. Like, I don't see them resuscitating that corpse.
So next up on that list, we have Just Dance 2017.
Next.
Game of the fucking year.
Yep. Next up is actually one that I'm super interested in. It's like the first VR thing I think I've actually seen that has me interested at all, and that's Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Right on, dude. I'm with you. We're both Trekkies.
It looks.
I'm
sick.
with you.
You'll never have four people with a Vive in the same room, though.
Never, ever. It's never going to happen. That's the little terrible part about it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. You'll never be able to play it. At least not.
They're like, you can look next to the person. They're right there, man in the helm. And I'm play because I think listen, as a huge Trek fan, it's a dream come true to be able to do something like that. It looked great. No, I mean it looked. I'm not gonna say it looked. I didn't think it looked great. I think it looked very passable. I thought it was a very good simulation. I would love to try it. But as far as like the feasibility of like you're saying dubious, just I never. I was like, well, I'll never do that because I don't even know 3 other people who would play it with me, much less have the hardware. So
exactly. I mean, like it seems like the kind of thing where you'd have to like maybe get your friends together and go somewhere that has it set up.
Hey man, I think it's a great idea. and I think it like again, but
I just can't see it working out.
I would gladly play it, but I wish it the best. Like, it gives my hope. Like, you know, I think it was a good part of something that got my hopes back into gaming, but I'm just a little skeptical. So, more power to it. I'm not sure in this new era where they're pushing the new Star Trek franchise that's necessarily going to be something that is going to be successful in that paradigm.
Yeah, I do kind of wish it was set in like TNG universe too, rather than 2009 universe. But you know they're never going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. Hey, it's got to be better than that other Star Trek game they released. Remember that one?
Oh, Star Trek 09. That wasn't good, but it was passable.
It was
it was a very solid 5 out of 10.
It was better than Deep Space Nine's Super Nintendo game.
Yeah. Which is still better than most Star Trek games. Star Trek doesn't have it's very hard to make that work as a game, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. And it's also hard for people to give a crap about it, so we should probably move on.
All right, next up is Grow Up, a sequel to Grow Home, which I never played the original Grow Home. You guys have any interest in this?
I'm waiting for the third game, Grow Hard.
Grow Home was actually really fun. I've played it a little bit, and it is a really fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, mechanically speaking, it's fun to play. It's a fun game to, like, interact with, and it's just, I don't know, it's bright, it's colorful. So I think it's cool that they're making more. I'll be interested to see what features they bring to it. The first product, in my mind, felt pretty coercive. Like, not necessarily loads of death, but it felt really good. So
it got a lot of Game of the Year nominations.
It's really fun, dude. It's really good.
Actually, I think Avalanche Jared gave me a copy of it from one of his Humble Bundles. I haven't played it yet, so judging by what you're saying, I really should give it a try.
Yeah, it's good. It's honestly really good.
So we've only got one game left, and it's a sequel to Blood Dragon.
No, it didn't.
Trials
it's
of Blood Dragon.
It's a lie.
This is where they completely shit the bed, honestly. I don't care.
The first Trials game was cool. I don't need more than one ever.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they keep making them. Like, it's not that they're bad games; they're really fun. I mean, come on, physics-based motorcycle platform puzzle game, whatever the fuck, sweet. It's a good time. But yeah, like, I don't see why they keep pumping them out. I mean, I imagine it's a moneymaker for them, especially since like it's a good product. But it's one of those things where I'm really scared it's going to start turning into Madden.
It's like, so let me get this straight. You make a game, you make an add-on, expansion, side story, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it's awesome. It oozes of 80s nostalgia, and the gameplay is fantastic. And your idea for a sequel is to meld it with a fucking motorcycle platformer physics game.
Truthfully, I think it's something that can revive the Trials series for me, but I'm not interested in it at all.
Just a small nitpick. They actually like confused 90s nostalgia and 80s nostalgia. Did y'all notice that? Anyway, go back and watch that trailer and see like how it starts off. It's like 90s, and then it's like, oh no, wait, we forgot it's 80s. So they're just going for like an old nostalgia vibe. I don't know. It was generally okay. Yeah, VHS era. Not
they just need to throw VHS filters on everything.
Yeah, and that's
I would play that though.
Like. Yeah, VHS filters on everything.
Yeah, that'd be dope, dude.
Yeah. We need to just go ahead and do it so anybody get out of their system.
So that basically covers all of Ubisoft. Hopefully that wasn't too boring, and hopefully we can power through Bethesda so we can get onto the real meat of E3 this year. The first one up is one I know Tiberius is... what's up, Jay Hicks?
No, I was just going to say, you want to power through it? Hang on. Doom, Fallout, Skyrim. Thank you.
Nope, got some.
I was about to say, the first one up is one that I know Tiberius is extremely excited for, which is Dishonored 2.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Game of the year. That's my candidate. Guys, I gotta be honest. Have y'all played the original Dishonored?
Only a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, no.
Tried to.
Dishonored's awesome. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I can only... It's got, like... Hype train. It's the only thing I'm going on the hype train with this year is Dishonored 2. And I'm all aboard. Choo choo, full steam ahead, right off the fucking cliff. That is gonna be the best game. Period.
Well, people really like.
I don't even want to get into
really much to it, but
I gotta say, the world is so reactive to you, and it's hard to like. In the first game, your playstyle literally will define how future levels play out. Everything it's just very reactive, very well crafted. I played the game through on 3 different times, like a chaotic playthrough, a orderly playthrough, and then a playthrough where you're not even seen. It gives you so much ability to choose your path and how to approach your objective, and also being in a well crafted, like old painting-esque world, finally voice acted. I mean, there's no way. I'm sure they got more money. And if you've seen some of this, like, it looks really good already. So I'm not expecting this one to actually degrade itself any. It's going to be a really good game. And I'm a Bethesda fanboy, but Dishonored
been putting out nothing but fire lately, though. It seems like.
Yeah, they're great. They're not the best. They're a great publisher. The developing needs work, but I'll save that for later.
What I think, so speaking of like the fire games they put out, everybody loves this new Doom, and what I kind of think looks interesting is Prey that they showed off, which I don't know anything about, but if it has anything to do with the development team of that new Doom, I think it'll probably be interesting, at least to say the least.
Yeah, show me more. I'm definitely on board with that. Again, fanboy.
Yeah, they didn't really show much gameplay, but like the trailer looked neat.
Yeah, so this isn't the Prey of you were a space bounty hunter on an alien planet. No, that was the first Prey 2 iteration, right?
They canceled. That is completely canceled. Yeah.
Okay.
No more of that one. That was the original. Was in its own right a game that looked interesting, but that one, got canned.
So I guess other than the games that we've already seen them show off before, I mean, Fallout's getting DLC. That's cool. There's,
I do have one thing to speak on that, if I could, real quick.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer thing. So, Nuka World, it was the major storyline expansion they announced with that. They announced 3 DLCs, and 2 of them are smaller. That's the last DLC, period. And this has got a lot of people extremely angry. And I bought the season pass before they raised the price. But I gotta admit, this is the weakest DLC from Bethesda in quite some time. And I just want to point that out, because even in what they've added, Far Harbor was really good, honestly. But I don't think we got... I see why with some of the problems people have with Fallout 4, the expansions have not helped iron those all out as a full game. So, just the one thing I wanted to say with the Fallout stuff.
Word. And then, I mean, also speaking of like Fallout, they're saying they're doing Elder Scrolls Skyrim Remastered, which, I mean, you want to play the remastered version, just buy the original PC version and throw a texture mod.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, basically, if I go out, because I think the other day we went to Walmart and they had Skyrim Legendary for $20 with all the crap in it. But the way they're saying is if I own that, like this Skyrim and all the shit that goes with it, then I get remastered for free? Or that's what it sounded like. And from what I heard, Skyrim Remastered is just Skyrim with pretty graphics. Like there isn't much to it.
Yeah, I think they're just updating the textures.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just a texture upgrade, which is, again, like Jay Dubious was saying, they've done that already for free on PC. But the second update of the game.
Yeah, for the PC, it's like bleh. But I guess for those who have the PS4 or the Xbox One, this is actually something nice.
Yeah.
Unless they're charging full price for it, then that's kind of a ripoff at this point. I mean, they're charging like full price for a 6-year-old game.
They say that the Skyrim player base is still very strong.
Yeah, because Elder Scrolls 6 isn't out yet.
And that's the way, but that's how it works, exactly. So, who knows? I was not very... it's like other people say, if you're going to bring back a remaster, bring back Morrowind. That's the one everybody wants to replay. And I think they need to go ahead and do that.
Or maybe a new Elder Scrolls?
I never care how long they take in between the Elder Scrolls games, because they're always, to me, always great. I hope they get Elder Scrolls right. They don't always get Fallout right, but they always get the Elder Scrolls right.
I thoroughly enjoyed Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim is a really good game. A little shallow for my taste, but just a little. Not like as shallow as maybe other titles. So.
Word. So yeah, that's basically it other than the Quake announcement. But, I mean, we could kind of see that coming with the Doom remake and the Wolfenstein remakes. And honestly, Quake's single player wasn't that great to begin with, so...
I don't know. I was kind of bummed there it's a multiplayer arena game again. I think if you're going to redo Quake, I don't know. You and I are both Unreal guys, so I guess it doesn't really... I'm not real looking forward to a new Quake arena game. It's great. But here's the thing. I don't think... From what I've seen, I have not played it. The Doom multiplayer kind of is arena style, correct?
Sort of. It's weird. It's very hallway based. I would almost compare it to like if all the levels in Unreal Tournament sucked, that's kind of what the new Doom's multiplayer's like.
Well, I just don't know that I don't know that the public wants a shooter like that. I'm not sure. Overwatch obviously is probably the inspiration for it because it's like the closest thing. But if you're not going to have like abilities with cooldown and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to appeal to the mass market. Just my 2 cents.
I don't really see that.
Well, they're pushing like, oh, these are different characters, and it's like what they're trying to do there. They're trying to give you the thought of the other first-person shooters to have cartoony characters. So we'll see. I'm skeptical.
Oh yeah, as you should be. All right. So with that all being said, that pretty much covers Bethesda.
They did tease a new Wolfenstein game somewhere. I didn't quite.
I guess
catch
they
it,
did. Yeah, you're right. A split second of an image during the Quake trailer refers to the new Colossus, a new Wolfenstein game.
Which is going to be... That game was my surprise. Not my surprise, everybody's surprise. That's a great game. The last one.
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda keeps putting out fire. Well, at least I think
yeah,
so.
What can you say? Moving on.
So next up, we're going into the Microsoft conference, which was where things are going to start getting a lot more interesting, I feel like. Microsoft opened their conference by showing some new hardware, which included the Xbox One S official announcement, which is a remake of the original Xbox One that is 40% smaller and also features a 2 terabyte hard drive as well as a 4K output. Possibly for movies. I don't think it's for games for 4K yet. At least not on this version.
It wouldn't be. But yeah, man, they were like, boom, right out of the gate, first thing. Here's our new console iteration. Here's the price point. And I think they went hardware first. And I think it's like a nice little package to me.
It's nice. It makes me very bummed I bought an Xbox One already.
I mean, to be fair, I've been feeling that regret more or less ever since I bought it. But these whole hardware reveals have never been super astounding to me. I don't know. I've never gotten super hyped about console reiterations. I know some people are really into it, but it's just not something I care about.
It is slightly different than it has been in the past, though, considering it seems like they're more moving into like the way Apple does it, where you have like your iPhone each year. You're going to have your console each year rather than and it's more about the platform than it is about.
But that sounds absolutely ridiculous, right? You literally just heard the words they're going to release a console each year come out of your mouth, right?
Yeah, I'm not buying them. I'm just going to keep buying a PC. I'm a sane dude.
That's fair, but I'm just saying, like, that's, I don't know. I think it just seems, I don't personally understand the hype around it. But to be fair, there's a lot of stuff Microsoft does that I don't understand the hype around it.
If you don't announce the next... should we go ahead and go on the next part of hardware, since we're talking hardware, and talk about the Project Scorpio?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, because I mean we're going to get in that conversation right now anyway. So,
my whole thing about Scorpio, I was mentioning it to Josh earlier, is it sounds neat, but to me anyway, I don't have the TV that they say you need it for, and it's probably going to be a long time before I get a TV like that. So if you care about that shit and you care about VR, then yeah, it's the system for you. But I mean, they've already said all the games will work on every version, the original Xbox One, the Slim, and this one. So, I mean,
See, that's why I think it's a stretch. And I've heard this before about what you were saying, Dubious, about this. The idea of it's like an Apple iPhone thing. But that's not really what what I look back at. I don't see that's what they're offering us. They're offering us, in the end, when all this hardware rolls out, with Project Scorpio being the finest model they offer, their high end, so to speak, we will have different levels of hardware that support the same software. So it's not that they'll be issuing new consoles every year. It's just that they'll have a different entry levels, basically, like a spread, so everybody at different price points can buy them. It's an interesting strategy. If like after they release Scorpio the next year at the next E3, they're like, and here's our next console, then I think we should panic. Not a panic, but be alarmed.
Well, what has me the most alarmed is the fact that all their individual games are going to be on PC now. There's no reason to own an Xbox One.
Yeah,
except
like
for
there really isn't.
Well,
Honestly, what's your pitch? Because I've had this argument multiple times in the past week alone about how I really think console gaming is dead as far as like mainstream AAA games.
Here's a great Jay's got a great argument for why you would. We were talking about this earlier with you and the missus.
which part? The
part about how you can get like just for instance, like if you get the game across platform.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about that right now.
Well, I just figured I'd throw you out there because it was a good argument.
Yeah, so one of the big things they mentioned was Xbox Play Anywhere, which is essentially if you buy the game digitally, regardless of you get, let's say for example, Gears of War 4, which looked great to me. Also, if I buy it on PC, they give me the Xbox One copy. Now, I don't know the total logistics of how this works, but if I'm thinking it correctly, if like me and my wife have an Xbox One and a PC, we can both play Gears together. She can be on the Xbox One and I can be on the PC. And if that is the case, if that's how it truly works, then I think that's fucking amazing.
I don't know if they'll do that for every game.
Doubt they'll do that because you can on two different computers and they won't let you run it on the same account because it'll be tied to your account.
No, but the thing is, the interesting part about it is it's not just a hardware upgrade. These are also software upgrades too. Like the whole it all rolls together. All the elements about the Xbox Live upgrades, they are making a more cohesive.
Why deal with Xbox Live? Why pay for premium? Why play on PC and an Xbox One when you can do local multiplayer on your PC? Like you can use gamepads on a computer. You can do that. Like why would you want to split it up across? Like I'm saying, I don't understand the argument of buying the Xbox One in the first place. And keep in mind, I fucking bought one because I was like, oh, I'm sure they'll release some exclusives someday, and it just fucking hasn't happened yet. I'm saying that I do not legitimately see any reason that you would want to purchase a console over a computer because you can hook computers up to your TV. You can run Netflix on all of them. You can literally do all of that shit and infinitely more.
And Xbox doesn't have exclusives anymore.
Yeah, and Xbox doesn't there's no fucking point. Like exclusives are pretty much dead. I do like in this E3, so far as I have seen, has not really done much to change my opinion on that. Like I don't see the draw. Like I really don't get it. Like why would you want to play on on one person on a console, one person on a computer instead of just both people on one? Like I can understand cross-platform, but I don't understand cross-platform in the local sense. And even then, like I don't understand why those people you would be playing with just wouldn't buy a computer.
But
that being
said, there's no reason not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no reason to be exclusive about it. So like they're offering you two games for one. So it's not, no matter what, it's not bad. It's not a bad idea. It just
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying like I think the idea of releasing more consoles is the stupidest thing when I think consoles are dying out to begin with.
I think that there's I'm with you on this some level because I think they're in dangerous Sega territory here where they might put out too much hardware at one time and just completely destroy themselves, which is hard to say with Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like they are in that. I mean, it's not there, but I can see a world where this could go badly, and it's like the 32X all over again. But it's just scary. It's not scary because we're PC gamers, but I guess it's scary for some people. I'm not necessarily defending Microsoft on that. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt Microsoft to have that feature where you buy one game and it's cross-platform for you. I don't like the fact that it's on the Windows 10 platform or wherever that is. I'm sure it's some kind of other kind of DRM that I don't really mess with. So, overall, I do think that this is at least hardware is something to talk about. I guess.
I mean, that's all it seems like to me. Is it seems like Microsoft being, hey, look, we're trying to be relevant. We're trying to be relevant. Maybe if we release more shit, like I don't fucking know. What do we do to get 5 bucks?
They're still doing damage control from the fiasco of launch of years ago, and I think they're getting. Like I said, I've said before, I think they're doing better. I think all this is helping gain some kind of faith with their base and with a few other consumers. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to wow, especially anybody who's like a hardcore PC gamer. So.
But see, I guess it's weird because I know that it's primarily what I work in, but like I don't necessarily consider myself a PC gamer because I use video game consoles literally every day. Like I have a fucking MVS 20 feet from me, you know what I mean? It's just, I think in terms of modern gaming and gaming going forward, and you can even quote me on this in next E3 or 2 E3s from now when it fucking happens, but I think consoles are going to die out. I legitimately think this is going to be the last real console generation. Like, I don't, past the Xbox One, see any reason for Microsoft to not just release, like, a modular PC.
I think that's what they're getting. Listen, who's to say that Scorpio is not going to be modular? Just because they didn't say it was doesn't mean it's not going to be. I think did you notice they never said the next generation? There might be no. They probably agree with you Microsoft probably absolutely agrees with you on that, and they're going to try to mold their console into something else. I think we're starting to see that.
That might be what the play is. It's just I just think it's so underwhelming, would be putting it politely. I think it's self-sabotage in a lot of ways. I think it doesn't seem like the smartest move. I'm glad they're backing it up with good features like the cross-platform and the one copy for all platforms. I think that's really smart, and I think that's really good. But I don't know. I think they're going to fuck themselves up with all these new versions of the Xbox One. I don't see it going well.
Could be. It's very possible.
So you guys want to talk about some games?
Yeah, sorry. Shitting on the Xbox One.
Well, I was going to say, talking about the Play Anywhere, we might as well start with the first one, Gears of War 4, the first one they talked about. Like I said, it's Gears of War. I like playing that series, so it was fine with me. That controller they showed can, suck it, because when I found out it's like the Elite controller that costs, like, it's the one with the customizable buttons that costs like $200 or some shit. I was like, I'm good. So
getting offering tiers. It's just, I think it's part of the model. That's just what I'm getting at. As far as Gears of War 4, I hate to even put this out on the podcast. I've always thought Gears of War is shit. This is no exception.
Yeah, I have zero interest. Cover-based shooter in 2016, no interest.
Wait till they put Weeby shit in, then Dubious will be like, oh my god, game of the year.
Cover-based anime shooter, you buy that day one.
Cover-based dating sim, so, they'll be all over that.
I guess pretty much Gears nobody cares except me, kind of.
Well, I have nostalgia for it, but I thought Gears 3 and everything else afterwards was lackluster.
And that's what I wonder. Is Gears even popular at all, really, anymore? Because it was never popular with me, so I don't know.
I was just going to say, to quickly finish up the Gears talk, is the fact that the villain from Part 1, General Ram, is a playable character in Killer Instinct.
Which I think that's kind of cool. As somebody who plays a lot of fucking Blizzard games, one thing I really like that Blizzard does is all of the, like, cross-game synergy. I like how if you pick up a special edition of, like, Overwatch or, new WoW expansion, it gives you shit for all their other games. I think that's cool. So I like seeing that integration. It's kind of it's the Smash Brothers draw.
I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I love them. I want to announce this next one because Dubious is going to talk about it for probably the rest of the podcast. Forza Horizon 3. Go, Dubious.
Looks good.
Oh, don't you get? You got more than that shit.
No, I don't know. I think I'm a huge fan of the Forza games. I own all of them. I'm looking forward to it. I can see why people don't like racing sims that don't like them. I am a little concerned that the focus of Forza Horizon 3 is going to be a little bit too much on off-road. But with the exception of that,
they did push that.
I think Australia seems like a cool setting. Forza Horizon 2 was good. Forza Horizon 1 is still the best of that series, but Forza Horizon 2 was definitely good. And the Horizon games definitely blew away the actual main series these days. And I was kind of hoping for an Asian setting rather than Australia, but I'm still happy with Australia.
I will say the one thing that intrigued me was the 4-player campaign co-op. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, that's pretty
The part that I liked about that was how simple they seem to be making it for you to party up. And that's always something I've noticed about console games. Is I feel like as a PC, I hate to be PC master race on this, it's always easy to get together. And consoles always feel like there's some kind of barrier there. It looked really easy to get around with each other in that. So,
yeah, they tried to do that with Forza Horizon 2, where you could like easily drop into other people's games. I haven't tried it because I don't know anyone else who owns an Xbox One in that game, but
So yeah, and now again, I have to throw it in there. Now the fact that I don't need an Xbox One to play it. I might actually join you in that, Dubious, like the campaign racing.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing I'm the most excited for with that. I guess is probably the fact that I can play it on PC and like just buy myself a 1080 GeForce and just crank the graphics up so high that it looks like a holodeck.
PC Master Race.
PC Master Race. That's basically this entire podcast tonight.
Except for the funny part is none of us watched. Yeah, and none of us watched the PC conference. So like, that's kind of like the funniest part about it. No, we don't know what happened.
I know some things about it. I know some of the stuff on the floor at least, but it's off topic. We'll stay on Microsoft.
Now, oh no, go ahead, Dubious. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, if you guys want to move on, we have Sea of Thieves, which I don't know if anyone has any hype for.
I'm always looking for a decent pirate game. I don't know what it looked like to me, honestly.
I thought
I don't know.
The art direction looks pretty crappy.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I did not think it looked particularly that good. I didn't see a whole lot to do with it. I saw them get on a boat, manipulate the boat, run around, do some jackass stuff like drink ale, and then shoot shit at each other. And that was it. And I don't know if that's enough draw for me for a game.
I can already picture if there's a multi-tap Sea of Thieves crew, everyone's just going to be fucking drunk and throwing.
And the boat's just going to go capsize immediately. It was all fucking drowning. But I couldn't say I'm hyped about it, but it didn't look like I would just ignore completely either.
I'd play it if it was free to play, maybe. Maybe.
See, okay, here's my thing on it, okay? I have played a lot of really bad pirate games before.
That's the other...
really weird whenever I see somebody be like, hey, there's a pirate game coming
Why is it so hard to do a pirate game right?
So that
I don't understand.
Aside, like putting that already horrible bias against it on the ground. I will admit that I do like it looks like they're kind of ripping off Guns of Icarus. I don't know if anybody in here is familiar with that game.
I can totally see that.
That's a pretty cool. Like, if you get a crew together, like, that's a fucking fun game. For those of you in chat who aren't familiar, it's a PC game where it's like airship battles, and everybody, like, you build a team, and everybody has a job on the airship, and, like, one person's steering, other people are working cannons, things like that. So it looks like they're kind of taking that concept. And admittingly, in Guns of Icarus, it's really well executed. So if they had some way to make it like that, but more approachable and easier to get people together, I could see it being good. My issue is that I'm just weary generally.
I think that's
just me being jaded, but I mean, it has potential, and I would like for it to do well, but I am doubtful at best.
I think that's fair because you're right.
Yeah.
There's so many bad pirate titles out there.
It's funny you mention how bad some pirate titles can be, but it's funny when you think about how good cowboy games usually end up.
Hell yeah, we love cowboy games too. Well, it's because it's like this is a little off topic, but I'm just going to do a tiny little rant. I think the pirate aesthetic's a difficult thing to like actually capture because you're trying to do this balance of like action and exploration and setting that in all like realistically, it was pretty boring. Like there's a lot of weeks at sea doing fucking nothing. You know what I mean? Like look at Wind Waker. Wind Waker generally captured like that whole like seafaring thing really well, including the oh my god, I'm sailing for 40 minutes to get to an island, kill me now. You know what I mean? But you look at the fucking Wild West and like that aesthetic's just getting drunk and shooting shit. Like it's so much easier to capture. You know what I mean? So like yeah, give me more guns, give me more Red Deads. You know?
Oh yeah. What about Scalebound, gentlemen?
Could not care less.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just gonna say, what was it? I was watching that, and Dubious was in the Skype chat, and he's just like, "This game looks like crap." It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I like it. Kind of had that Monster Hunter vibe for me, and I love that series. And it's nice to have a game like that that doesn't require a handheld. So, I think it looks cool.
I gotta be honest. He asked if I could. He said I couldn't care less. I did not care. That made me. And I believe we've seen this game before.
Yeah, was that there last year?
Yeah, I did not care then. I did not care going in. I care less now because it was so lame. That Titus with Beats guy. That was just the lamest thing.
Awful.
So I just think how I was just lame, so cheesy, so corny.
Yeah, the thing with that is, I think this is the guy who did Devil May Cry. So his main character has to have that Dante-ish badass attitude, not giving a fuck, and skating around and listening to music, and
I think in the time period that Devil May Cry came out, that worked. I don't know that that was definitely not appealing to me.
The only good thing about that I noticed was that numbers pop up when you hit enemies.
Yeah,
my
fuck
problem
Lincoln.
with it is I'm with Joshua Tiberius in that I fucking love the Monster Hunter series. Those games are awesome. I'm also one of those guys who enjoyed Evolve and liked playing as the monster and playing Killer and Dead by Daylight and all that shit. I'm kind of into that taking down giant things feel. But my issue is that and this is my opinion, no game has ever done that feeling better than Shadow of the Colossus. And this super polished, modern, really flashy, high-end AAA, oh, look at this giant thing, shoot lasers, fucking woo anime. It doesn't sell me on it. The reason why I think Shadow of the Colossus is the best example of those giant cinematic fights is because of the minimalist feel. Is because it traps you in the situation of feeling so small versus something so huge. And watching the gameplay for it, I didn't get that sensation. You're something small hitting a big target, but to me it didn't look like the David versus Goliath fight.
I had something.
To skip over
Go ahead,
Recore, which is next, talking about those giant enemies, that actually might be a good time for us to actually bring up the Final Fantasy 15 trailer that was shown at the Microsoft press conference, where he was fighting that giant Colossus type enemy, and the game seemed to be glitching out.
I
mean, come on, Microsoft press conference, man. You gotta have one thing go Windows 95, right?
But bringing that up, though, and I guess I'm going to kind of bring in something from the Sony conference, but Final Fantasy 15 is really weird because it looks good about 40% of the time and looks really bad 60% of the time.
It is you hit the nail on the head, man. It is the strangest thing I've ever seen from a game that it's just all over the place.
Yeah. At the Microsoft conference, it looked bad. The trailer they showed of it looked awesome at the Sony conference until they showed the VR components, which looked horrible.
It's just the whole thing. I'm constantly watching the evolution of this game as it's been, released to us. I'm constantly that's cool, That's weird. That's cool. That's weird. It's just constant with me. I wish I could get a better gauge on it. I can say I'm still interested after all this
I'll
time.
buy it day one because I buy everything from Square, but the question is why I actually play it.
From what I've heard from the people I know who are walking around the floor and actually playing the demos, they seem to enjoy it a lot. So even though it looks shaky, it looks like there'll at least be fun to have, which is a vast improvement over fucking Lightning Returns and Final Fantasy gagging with a spoon. Like, seriously, those games were fucking terrible. So, as far as I'm concerned, it would be hard for them to do worse, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I have a chocobo in my afro.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had no problem with the visual design of that game. I had problems with the game design of that game. The fact that it was one fucking hallway and you couldn't do shit. But no, I'm not
the plot was
going to rage on it.
And when they're like, the Lacy Falsey had to come from the planet Lacy Falsey Falsey, and then they talk about the Falsey Lacy Falsey. You're just like, dude, like, maybe translate this. Like, try to translate this. I don't know. Like, I don't need apostrophes in every word.
Dubious. The answer is clear and simple. Nanomachines. Just fucking Final Fantasy 13 is all about nanomachines. That's it. Just use the Metal Gear Solid 4 answer. Nanomachines.
Nanomachines. Lacy Falsey Lacy.
Like, it's as bad as that game. So that's my whole take on it.
Before you go into the next game, I wanted to bring something up super quick because it'll only take like 2 minutes. Because I didn't even know this happened until after the Microsoft conference. It seems that Phantom Dust, which was getting a reboot, the action card game for original Xbox, it was getting a reboot. The team got pulled from it. It got canceled. Now they're just re-releasing the original Xbox game with updated visuals, all that stuff, and with like updated online play and things like that. And I think that's interesting because when I reviewed the game, I said either reboot it or re-release it. Do something because it's untapped potential. That game is so much fun, and I always wanted to play against other people. So I thought that was a cool thing. Like, the project's not dead; it just got shifted. So I thought I'd bring that up real quick before you get back to the main stuff. Oh, all right, I'm done.
Recore. It's the next game we're talking about.
You hate it. I love it. I think it looks cool.
I'm just not that interested. What do you guys?
Yeah, I'm going to say this probably. I'm tired of old Japanese dildos. And
what?
I'm not. Everybody always gets all hyped up about these old Japanese developers putting out new stuff. I'm so tired of hearing about it. And this is.
I don't know. I forgot who's developing it. I just think it looks cool.
Inafune.
Oh, I guess.
So I don't know much about it. I don't think it looks bad or anything.
It looks like a perfectly
capable
AAA title, but it's just I'm usually not interested in. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I imagine it'll be 7 hours long. It'll have really good gameplay, and then it'll be entirely disposable once it's done.
Wow, what is a harsh but probably accurate prediction?
Next.
Dead Rising 4.
Yes.
Next.
Shut the hell up.
I'm sorry. It was a shot.
Again, I love the fact I don't need an with Dead Rising 3, now I can actually play that. I don't need an Xbox One, and the same goes for this. It's coming to both. So, Frank West is back. Looks like it's during the Christmas season, and he's made all these crazy weapons out of like candy canes and Christmas trees and shit, hacking up zombies. Love it. 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars.
I'm excited because I really like those games, and one of the reasons I ended up buying an Xbox One was to play Dead Rising 3, and I found Dead Rising 3 to be really disappointing. Not that it was bad, it was fucking nothing. It was just gray matter. It was fucking, you just nod and nothing. Just nothing, dude. I've never been so bored playing a Dead Rising game in my life. So seeing them be like, hey, we're bringing back fun shit, and it's exciting, and holidays, who knows? Like, maybe...
I saw some power armor.
Yeah. So, like, I'm excited for it because I like those games. I love Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 2, so I'm glad to see them put some excitement and bring it kind of back into formula, you know?
We'll just have Capcom put out something.
Yeah, that...
I only really played the first Dead Rising. I didn't play anything after that. If I saw Dead Rising 3 for sale on Steam, I'd probably pick it up, but I can't say I'm excited or even have any emotions towards 4 because I haven't played enough of the series at this point anymore. Anyways, Halo Wars 2, next!
Bleh.
Gwent,
Yeah.
next!
Fuck.
Wait. What did you say after Halo Wars 2?
Gwent.
Oh,
The-
Gwent.
The Witcher card game. It's like, I got Hearthstone and I don't
that's
even play
cool.
that much, so...
I think it's cool they did that. I'm not sure what they're. It's cool, and I'm sure some people actually asked for that. And it's cool they provided it for them.
I will say that I think Game of the Year 2016 was the game that had absolutely no footage, and that was from the guy who made Limbo. It's Hallway or Office Building, whatever the fuck it's called. This game will bring you ultimate realism. Like, no.
I will say again, just like Limbo, great use of light in that trailer.
Oh yeah,
That's the only thing they caught my eye.
I think the one Dubious had like a bonergasm for was We Happy Few.
Oh my god, that looks so good.
Dude, have you seen it played in alpha or whatever stage it's in now, though?
No, I've only seen the trailer that they showed it.
Dude, you need to, before you get all hyped about that game, you need to watch somebody play it. Like,
Right.
yeah, it looks, the aesthetic's great, and the game, I watched about 8 months ago, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is great, and the new voicing they got for it is good. The whole idea is great, but when I see people play it, I don't see any objective going on.
Really?
Like, it's just running around randomness, and maybe it's just because streamers are stupid. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
The feeling I get from it is like a British version of Logan's Run. Like the guy becomes aware that, you know, shit's gone down and he needs to escape before he's caught.
Hey man, I think it's a great, as far as the aesthetic and the idea of the story and all that, it's fucking great. Watching the game being played, it is not, to me, it's not like Ark that they pitched. Ark is still in a development state. It's pretty, it works for the most part. We Happy Few, I don't know, it may have taken a lot of strides as I've seen it. I have not been impressed. I've seen glitchy, like, it's got that thing we know in a lot of games, like the bodies will just start stretching to infinity. Stuff like that happens all the time, and it's just not any playable state that I saw to be pitching it on stage.
Well, it comes out next month.
They must have done a lot of work to it. That's all I gotta say.
I think it looks cool because I think the like Orwellian like drug thing seems cool. It seems like whoever made it, they like locked them in a room like Clockwork Orange style with their eyes open and made them watch BioShock for like a week.
Yeah, it's got BioShock. Like I said, it's got BioShock. It's Brazil. It's Orwell. It's Brave New World. It's like all kinds of stuff. It's. I think I'm with you. It's really well done in that respect. So like,
hopefully the gameplay can
be good.
Right. Hopefully the game is good. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy that day one. I'll let you know. I'll let you know next month.
Please do, because I just from what I've seen, I was just not
Yeah,
impressed.
mosquito. I'm too looking at my list, seeing what's left.
State of Decay 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, you're right. I was gonna say State of Decay 2, or as I like to call it, took you fucking long enough to put co-op in it, you piece of shit developers.
My thing about, and this I saved this for this game specifically because I didn't watch the press conferences in order. I didn't watch this one live. I'm boycotting any game with a zombie horde. Done. No more. We have got to stop this, people. Band with me. Boycott any game with a zombie thing.
Well,
we have to stop.
Did you notice
madness.
this year, like they were like slowly getting away from the zombie thing, like as of last year, and then this year it was like, boom! Like every conference had like 5 zombie games.
We got to stop, guys. It's a big cancer.
No, I understand. The only reason I like to give State of Decay a pass is because I played it when it came out on 360. You know, it did bug me that there was no co-op because it sorely needed it, but I liked the way they were going with it. I mean, granted, was it DayZ or Z1, H1Z1 or some shit on PC does it too, but the whole scavenging for supplies and setting up a base, at the time I didn't have the option to play those games. So for me, State of Decay was the closest thing, and I liked where that went. And I was like, okay, well, the sequel supposedly is going to have that co-op. So
more power to them.
Yeah.
Except for don't buy it.
So there's only two other Microsoft topics I think that are worth even mentioning, and then we can probably move on to Sony if you guys are ready for that, possibly.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just gonna say you're right. The console shit, like background music and crap. I mean, nobody cares.
We kind of touched on it a little bit with the software hardware upgrades.
Yeah,
and I think, and again, it's all minor stuff that's just usability stuff. So
the LFG feature seems interesting, that they're adding into the operating system of Xbox. And the only other thing that's really worth mentioning at all is Tekken 7, which is crazy. There's Tekken in 2017.
That trailer pissed me off so bad, and I'll explain why. So yeah, Akuma comes into the fucking thing, and I, like probably 90% watching the conference, went, "Oh, Tekken versus Street Fighter is finally coming out," after being in development for what feels like 20 years. Because there's Akuma fighting Heihachi or Kaiusa, I forgot, but it looks great, whatever. And then Tekken 7, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, did they just combine the two the game into that?
I thought they canceled Street Fighter vs. Tekken, or Tekken vs. Street Fighter.
I guess they did. But yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be fun. I was just that whole thing of like, whoa, it's finally coming out. Then oh shit.
But nope. So moving on to Sony, who actually I think probably had the strongest showing of any of the press conferences, in my opinion.
I think that's pretty unanimous. Every single person I've talked to has been like, yeah, Sony won again this year.
Yeah.
So first up, they started out the thing with bearded Kratos and God of War. And I've never been a God of War fan, but this new camera angle and fighting thing they're using that looks somewhat Dark Souls-esque, somewhat Resident Evil 4 camera angle, looks interesting. I probably won't play it.
That wasn't gameplay footage.
None of it?
I don't think it was it?
I thought that fight against the monster at the end of the trailer was...
Was it?
Well, it looked like it was from a gameplay angle.
Oh, well,
if it wasn't gameplay footage, that was a very bad cinematic decision.
I'm not sure now, because I was watching, it all seemed to be a cinematic to me, but maybe it was. And if so, I think that's a good thing, honestly. But I was impressed with that.
It's gameplay. The RE3 like over the shoulder stuff. Like looking at it right now, real quick. Yeah, that's gameplay footage.
I just remember I guess I was. All right, I guess I have to get to my actual thought on this trailer. I have never watched a trailer and had like a somewhat emotional reaction before. That was a really good trailer, and I was really sucked into that, like watching it. I thought it was well done from a storytelling aspect for a fucking game trailer. So, like, I guess I wasn't really noticing some of the stuff I should have been paying attention to.
Well, I think it's cool that, I guess what the hell does Kratos really have to be angry about anymore? He killed everybody in the last game. But, did anyone get a Last of Us kind of vibe from it with the whole, like, walking around having
I never thought about it like that.
Well, no, what I mean is like your son, or Kratos' son, kind of like Ellie, or I think it was her name, Ellie.
Not as much of a Last of Us vibe as I got from Days Gone.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. No doubt. But I think I see what you're saying, Jay. I didn't notice that, but now that you're saying something, yeah. I get kind of that vibe.
Oh, well, I guess, Days Gone.
We can move on to that.
That was the second game they showed from Sony Bend Studios, I believe.
The Siphon Filter people, if anyone remembers that.
That's
again, another zombie game. Kind of looks like if it actually did take place in the Last of Us universe, I'd be way more interested than what it is.
Yeah. Why doesn't it?
But it doesn't. The only thing that seems impressive about that game is the sheer number of zombies within the horde. And like
That
the way it
was
like
impressive.
moved, like it's like, what was that DayZ movie that came out a while ago, where like the zombies moved like water? Like it kind of like seemed like
World
they
War
looked at
Z?
that. Yeah, World War Z. I only saw the trailers for that movie, so I can't say I actually saw it, but yeah, it like looked like it had that same like visual effect, which does without a doubt look cool. I just wish this game was in the Last of Us's universe.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Otherwise, I filed under boycott because of zombies. But I was impressed like you were with just
Hey. Vikers, though, that's pretty new, man. Come on, zombies and Vikers. You haven't seen that before. That's
Unless you can
$60.
actually cook meth and beat up zombies while you're in a meth
That's
rage, I do not
fantastic.
care. I do not give a shit. If I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
fuck $2 whores at the road stop while I'm running from the zombie hordes, don't care.
So,
Yeah,
so if they added meth to the game, you'd be in.
Yes, I mean
Yeah,
I am from the south.
Okay.
Also, for anyone who cares in the chat, this takes 5 seconds. Last Guardian's coming out in October. Finally, it exists.
Fuck, this takes 5 seconds. I think that's huge. Are you kidding me? For the past,
Okay, yeah,
But they still haven't shown any gameplay
It's
for it.
huge. But it's the same fucking trailer we've seen for... Yeah, exactly! We watched the same trailer for 5 years, and I'm
Yep.
supposed to be hyped again? Fuck you! I'm not hyped. Show
They
it.
have
Put
gameplay
it on
on
my
the
plate! Put it on my
playable.
plate! I'm tired of waiting
Okay.
for it!
The best. Okay, everybody, calm down. I was.
This is what you get for trying to decide what's important and what's not, Popka. What the fuck?
You can't decide that.
Well, I mean, seriously though, like you said, they just showed the same footage. Like, oh yeah, October.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing. This is a game that for years they've been like, maybe it's canceled. That might be kind of canceled. Like,
Not
with,
just
like,
that.
I can
Not
think
just that.
game past fucking Duke Nukem Forever that I felt so fucking cock teased about. Like, literally.
Not
And
just
not only
that.
that, they're showing the same shit, but the point is there are people on the fucking floor playing Last Guardian. There's a fucking date for Last Guardian. It's coming out. We're finally getting the third fucking game out of that trilogy, man. And those games, I mean, Ico's not bad, and it has really cool concepts, but Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games on the PS2. Like, I am beyond hyped. That is the most exciting thing for me, because it's like somebody being like, yeah, you know what? The Easter Bunny is fucking real. Who fucking knew, right? It's actually
And
happening.
I get it, but damn it, it's not like we have been bled along. And not only that, it's canceled. Oh, it's back, and it's so good you'll shit your pants. So we've been waiting, we've been holding in this diarrhea, this excitement for this game for this long, and all we get for this announcement is the same trailer we've had for years.
Don, would you feel
do you not
better?
see a problem there at all?
Would you?
No fanfare.
Would you have felt better if I'd instead said that there was a demo of Lego Star Wars Episode 7 and it comes out in 2 weeks? Would that made you feel better?
I am just offended by the fact that what, in my opinion, is one of the most important things that Sony's
No,
It's just like, oh, nobody gives a fuck, we're not going to talk about
I
this.
didn't say no one cared. I was just like, okay, it has a date. It's coming.
Yeah,
They're good.
but that's fucking huge because it's The Last Guardian. Like, I can't think of a game that they've flat out said, yeah, it's canceled more fucking times than The Last Guardian.
Still no gameplay for it though. That's the problem. No gameplay.
No,
That is another problem.
EA, but it's playable. It's playable.
Is it playable on the floor?
Yes, I know.
Oh.
Like, I have screenshots of people sitting, like, about to fucking play the game. Like, I think it's huge. Like, I understand that they're not showing anything for
They
it.
should have shown gameplay at their press conference then.
It's fucking. I think it's crazy. I am amazed more people aren't talking about it solely because, like, dude, it's been my joke for 4 fucking years. It's like, oh, they're going to release it with The Last Guardian. Yeah, that's fucking coming out, dude. But it fucking is, and they probably won't do Nukem Forever. That's the main hope.
Probably.
Well, okay, my main reason why I don't think they're going to Duke Nukem Forever is because the reason Duke Nukem Forever is terrible is because they tried to make a relevant FPS over the course of like a decade and a half. So it's just a mishmash of genres that don't fit together, and it's fucking terrible. But they're not trying to conform The Last Guardian to shit. It's just this game that they've been tinkering around with for like 8 fucking years or whatever. So
It better be worth it.
yeah, I mean, it probably won't.
Hashtag tighten your sphincters. Last Guardian is coming.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it'll be a gigantic disappointment because I want it to be fucking Shadow of the Colossus 2, and it's never going to happen. But the fact that it's actually coming out, I think, is really... I think it's so exciting. Because it's one of those things that's like, never thought it was going to happen. Like, it just fucking... It was done, right?
With their dev cycles, you might get Shadow of the Colossus 2 in 2030.
Yeah, that's true. Fingers crossed.
Well, what else is on the horizon?
Oh, God.
I see what you did there.
That was clever. I was just going to say, hey, you know what is coming out? Robot dinosaurs.
Hey, that game looks a lot better than it did last year, didn't it?
That game improved drastically over the last year, for sure.
Yeah.
I was not interested at all last year. Still on the fence, but I would give it a shot.
That was one of the more impressive ones to me of the whole E3 this year. I was actually interested.
The Just Cause 3 style, like, way you can, like, tie things down using tethers, that's always a cool thing to have in any game. I think I love that.
I thought you had a lot of, like, different, from what I saw, lots of different ways to approach.
It looks like the combat's extremely diverse, and the way that the enemies have, like, the very small hit spaces, and it slows down when you aim, seems cool. I mean, the graphics look cool, too. I don't know if the plot's going to be interesting or not, but the gameplay and the graphics are great.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Yeah, I think everybody that I've talked to was pretty impressed with that. So I think we got something to look forward to for sure in that one. Hopefully. But the next one, I'm just going to go with those out there because, in the sake of time, Detroit Become Human.
Looks dope.
I'm into detective games and I'm into sci-fi, so I'm going to be watching for that because it looks very interesting.
I really like that Blade Runner style it's rocking.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's going to be one event that... I wonder if this is what the game is. You're actually doing the calculations in the android's mind as he's at that one situation. I wonder if it's going to be that single situation or if there's going to be different chapters with different negotiations.
I hope it's more than just one situation. I was thinking about
I don't know.
It
could be really interesting. It could be really interesting if it's just one situation and the game is like a slowed down probability check in his mind of all the outcomes that could happen if he takes certain actions. It's like, I'm probably making it way better than it actually is. But there is a way to make a game where it's one scenario but still really fucking cool with a lot of different things going on.
It looks so branching from the trailer.
Yeah, it really does. I hope it is. I hope it looks promising.
Yeah.
You can say a lot about all these Sony games.
It reminds me a lot of Heavy Rain. Is what it is.
I think it's the same developer.
Same dev team, yeah. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls.
Was super into that game. So I think it's got a much cooler looking aesthetic. It's definitely something I want to check out. I'll fucking play it for sure. Hopefully it won't be the same. Okay, I have to give it to the dev team just because one of my favorite PS3 moments I ever have had involved fucking Heavy Rain. And if you play that game with the PlayStation Move, slight spoilers, so there's your warning. If you haven't fucking played it, you're really worried about one game with branching consequences. This one little thing. Yeah, okay. The fucking finger scene. Having to do that with the PlayStation Move, sitting there, fucking actually do... Oh, my God, man.
It'd be funny if somebody's watching this stream and watch you do that with no sound on because of spoilers, because they have no idea what you're talking about, yeah.
This fucking guy's jerking someone off sideways. What the hell is this podcast about?
I didn't say...
If they can bop that
guy.
Fucking sign me up, man.
Is Jay Dubious back?
I'm back. And
okay.
Although I will admit, Quantic Dreams Beyond Two Souls, I only played about 2 hours of it, and I already wasn't into it. But I hear Heavy Rain's better between the two.
Yeah, I can't speak for Quantum Beyond 2, whatever the fucks, but Heavy Rain was good. It's definitely a playthrough once kind of experience, but it's a really good experience.
They remind me a lot of, it's Quantic Dream's take on their games seems they're almost Telltale-like, but it's their own very unique take on that.
They feel very LA Noire in that they kind of want that playable story vibe, but they want it to be more like a game, you know?
Yeah. LA Noire is my favorite game, so I'm glad they do that. So
I was hooked on Quantic Dream games from Indigo Prophecy, on up. I love freaking That game, especially, I'm thinking of picking it up on Steam because it's the uncut version that we never got, the Fahrenheit or whatever. But yeah, from then on, I've loved all their games. I mean, I haven't played Beyond Two Souls yet, but I did enjoy Heavy Rain, so that was a good one. But yeah, should be interesting.
So we've got a few things left, and we can probably wrap it up here pretty soon. We can probably burn through these. Resident Evil 7, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Especially like the VR aspects to it.
Fuck.
I've heard the VR is actually stupid fun. Like a very, very reliable source who's a close friend of mine is like, dude, this is one of the most fun things I've played on before. The Resident Evil VR is apparently sick.
Well, when I saw the trailer when they started showing, I was like, too scary, not putting that headset on with this shit going on. Nope.
Yeah.
I was genuinely impressed with the VR footage. That's all I'll say.
You know what else?
I was going to say,
the logo looks so cool for it.
Did you see the Japanese version?
Yeah.
Like it's Biohazard and the Z is the 7. I thought that was pretty classy. But no, as a big Resident Evil fan, watching that trailer, I was like, okay, this looks like a pretty cool horror game. Interesting. Then the logo shows up, and I was just like, what the fuck? You got to be kidding me! What the fuck is this shit? But like, this is amazing. But the thing that cracked me up had nothing to do with the gameplay. When the Sony guy came out to announce the date, like I was watching it on Twitch. He's like, and you'll be able to play this January
2017
or 2017. You can barely hear it, but there's this guy in the front row that he goes, "Yeah, right." Bullshit. I laughed my ass off with that.
That's funny as hell, dude.
Yeah, I fucking believe that, dude. Sure.
But yeah, after the conference that night, I forgot who I picked on Twitch to watch it, but everyone was playing that demo, so I wanted to get a feel for what it was like. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very PT inspired. Almost, you could almost say rip-offish if you want. But that's fine because PT doesn't exist anymore, which is, is a sad thing. But I do like the fact that they, in a way, it's also like PT with the whole thing that Capcom's pretty much said that this demo is like a prologue. This character you're playing as is not even going to be in the main game. There is combat in the game. They just wanted to get more back to the horror roots of the game because, I mean, Resident Evil 6 wasn't exactly a scary good time.
Oh my god, that game. I cannot describe how conflicted I am about it. Because, like, if you take the first, 15, 20 minutes of that game, and that was the whole game, it would be a fucking blockbuster. Like, the way that they streamlined the combat and everything in 6 felt fucking fantastic. But then everything else about the game was terrible. Like, all of the quick time, having to play the same thing over 4 fucking times. Like, oh my god, so much terrible in that game. I wish they could have just taken the best parts and actually made that into a fucking game. Ugh, sorry, that game just breaks my heart whenever I think about it.
Understandable. But I guess with the VR, the headset looks all right. The price point is
the price point's
interesting.
Awesome. That's the best thing.
The
about
price
that
point, the price point has made it. It's tremendous in my opinion for somebody who is interested in VR and always has been. I was an early Virtual Boy adopter for 3D.
For me.
So I am definitely prone to spending money on headset things. So the price point for the PlayStation VR, understanding you have to buy the PS4, but I think it looks like that's, for me, somebody who's fairly poor, that's how I can break into it. So I'm very interested in it. I think they did a decent job showcasing it. I'm sure we'll get into specifics. I thought a lot of the stuff was...
Have you guys ever actually used a VR headset?
Well, that's what I was going to say. We never talked about that Ubisoft friggin' bird flying game that I saw a couple of times with VR. I don't know if it applies here or not. I can't remember. That's what that reminded me of. It's like the old school mall VR sets. That's what that looks like to me. I've seen the old school stuff that was like super heavy and kind of like Lawnmower Man. Yeah, I remember that stuff.
I've used an Oculus before. I'm definitely interested in VR. There's still that Star Trek thing is like the killer app for me so far, but that needs to exist first.
Yeah, right.
I've from what I heard, people said it was an interesting experience with the VR. Was the Batman VR?
That should be interesting. That piqued my interest.
I mean, all they showed was
Because
a mask in that trailer. So.
Well, the people actually got to play the demo on the floor, and from what I heard, like one of the mini games or whatever is you actually put on the suit and the armor pieces, and then you put on the cowl.
Are there bat nipples?
There might be bat nipples. I don't think anyone looked down.
Oh.
But
Oh.
and the other mini mode was you did the whole detective mode like you do in the Arkham games, but you're actually analyzing everything yourself. And
See, that's cool.
yeah, I mean that I could see playing a Batman game like that.
But again, all this stuff looks like tech demos to me.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
There's no meat to any of this.
Well, that's the
that's
problem
the
with
problem.
VR is they're all experiences. They're not actual like
But
games.
that's what we kind of glossed over this. That's why Fallout 4 VR is really important, because that is even if it's not a great Fallout game, it's still a very rich. Put those two things together, because right now I can fall into Fallout 4 for a few hours. Right now, I can put a VR headset. I'll need to install a toilet into this chair because I'm not.
of course the Star Wars VR. Who cares? Like, oh wow, you're in an X-wing.
Again, tech demos. It looks like to me.
But what about Farpoint, the shooter where you're on Mars?
That was interesting.
It doesn't seem like it demos well on like a flat screen though, because like it seemed like I heard Giant Bomb talking about them using it on the floor, and they said that like you can like get behind rocks and like put your hand over the rock and like shoot things without like looking at them, but like you can't really see that happening unless you're wearing a VR headset.
That's cool though. I mean, that's the part that VR is all like. That's the part we're looking for. So I mean, the idea that I can literally blind shoot is awesome to me.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So moving on from VR a little bit, what'd you guys think of that new Call of Duty trailer?
Carl of Duty?
Press F to destroy Call of Duty.
Oh, I thought it looked good. The space combat looks fun. Grappling.
Dude,
hooks.
are you serious,
It's the
man?
shit. It's
Have
fucking
you ever-
Call
have-
of Duty. I'm not getting
Talk
hyped over Madden.
It's a good
You
engine.
can't pitch that. It's never gonna fucking happen. Like, I stopped caring about Call of Duty back when they did World War II games still. Like, holy shit, dude. Modern Warfare was the last good. Like, I am amazed that people are excited about new Call of
Excited
Duties.
about
How can you be excited? It is so clearly jumped the shark that it is a parody of itself. They are fucking in space. Are you serious? This is the purview of Unreals and Dooms. And you got Call of Duty in fucking space. Are you not see how insane that is? It went from
I
somewhat
agree.
realistic battlefields to a motherfucking with jetpacks in his ass, fucking shooting around space with a fucking AR. All these ARs in space. It's just it's almost like we didn't talk about Battlefield 1 yet. I'll save some.
I don't even know if we want to talk about Battlefield 1?
Oh, I guess we're not
Skip that
going
over
to talk
two.
about Battlefield 1. We did. Oh well, never mind.
I tell you in the text, like, or in the chat, like, here's the shit we left over from the Microsoft. Make your own controllers. Microsoft Arena. Oh, and Battlefield 1. So,
Well, we didn't do EA, but it's worth mentioning the fact that they've given everybody in World War One a bunch of fucking submachine guns. Are you fucking serious? Like, I thought they were actually to give some, like, a modicum of respectability back to the series, because I thought 1942, the original game, was a fantastic game, and they've done nothing but fucking fuck it up since. Nothing but. And I thought, like, hey, they're going to go back. It's going to be roots. You can have infantry and air. But no, they got motherfuckers running around with scopes on their submachine guns. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody, fuck. I can't even. I want it to be good, but I know it's not.
Crash Bandicoot.
How about that Crash Bandicoot?
Hey, that was pretty cool. You know,
I'm for it. I mean, I know I mentioned it a lot, but I'm somebody who actually really likes 3D platformers. Like Crash Bandicoot, like the first Jack and Daxter, love Spyro, love fucking Ratchet and Clank, like all those. So I like the fact that they're doing a remaster of the Crash Bandicoots. Those are
I
good.
like the old Crash Bandicoot. How it was like hallway based rather than like being like more open like Mario 64. I really dug that hallway based like system that they used in Crash 1 and 2. I guess I never really played Warped that much. I assume that's
They
similar.
didn't want to.
Yeah.
It's warped like that. Yeah. No.
So were you guys disappointed in the fact that Insomniac's new game is a licensed title?
Not really. I mean, I didn't play Sunset Overdrive yet, so I don't know the.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's one of your hang-ups, Mr. Dubious. I guess you should talk on it because it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, Insomniac's new game is a Spider-Man title, which I'm sure will be okay. Maybe, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is like a lot of Spider-Man titles over the years have been very hit or miss. There's been like one or two good ones that I've played, and a lot of bad Spider-Man.
Okay, here's the thing though. You and me disagree on that. Like, there have been a couple of really bland and average Spider-Man games, but I feel like, generally speaking, the Spider-Man games are pretty fucking good. I can think of some absolutely amazing ones on PS1, like some of my
Those are the ones I'm
favorite
referring
PS1
to.
titles.
The PS1 Spider-Man games are good.
But I mean, like, even past that, like, even on the PS2, like, even the average ones, like, it's a really easy fantasy to capture. Like, Spider-Man games are pretty well to execute. And if we look at Sunset Overdrive, one of the best things in that game was how the movement performed. Like, you could do
But I just want
crazy
Sunset
shit.
Overdrive 2. I don't want Spider-Man.
And I mean, that's fair. I want
But you
Sunset
might be the
Overdrive.
only one.
Maybe.
Everybody I know who played Sunset Overdrive loved that fucking
Yes,
game. Even if they
all
thought-
12 people liked it. I agree. I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, it's disappointing that it's a Spider-Man game, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. And if it handles like Sunset Overdrive, it's probably going to be really fucking fun.
Yeah, if they keep it where it's like the movement's constantly. The one thing I kind of dislike too is the like outfit Spider-Man was wearing with the big white spider in it. That
Oh
was kind
no,
of weird.
I thought that was a tight outfit, man. That was a good costume. That's one thing I really liked about that trailer. I was like, hey, I actually think that's a really good costume.
Really, I thought I don't know. I thought it looked weird, looked too untraditional. I like the black spider on the Spider-Man costume.
I get you, no. I just thought it was a good non-traditional. That's what I was getting at.
Well, that's other than that. I mean, all we really have is Lego Star Wars 7, which who gives a fuck? It's a Lego game.
That's why I was saying earlier, like, yeah, it comes out in 2 weeks and there's a demo. Next.
Well, the other thing, too, is I'm surprised nobody mentioned Death Stranding. Especially
Oh
since we're
god, how
talking
did we?
about...
Oh yeah, how do we
skip that?
forget that?
Especially since we were talking about Resident Evil
Dude,
2.
how
I-
did we-
That's the perfect.
That's
thing to
another
wrap this
old
up.
Japanese-
I have it right there.
Come on now.
Another old Japanese dildo. So yeah. For sure.
Dude, I didn't forget it. I have it right here. It's the last thing on my notes is Death Stranding, otherwise known as what probably
What?
Silent Hills was going to be.
What the fuck did I just watch? Because if you watched that, and if you watched it live during the press conference, the crowd's reaction was just like yours. It was like, what?
Yeah, very weird.
10 minutes over, it's like, what?
Island? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah, like, I couldn't even say what the fuck. I was just like, huh? Like, I don't even know what to say. If you haven't, anybody who's listening to this podcast who somehow has not seen the trailer for that, stop right now and go look that up.
Or
Because
stop
it
when we're
is
done. We'll be
something.
done in a little bit.
No, I'm breaking protocol. Stop now and come back. 'Cause
it's a weird trailer. It's just like, I feel like a lot of Sony's press conference was like, look at what PT got cannibalized into. Look at we fucking Frankenstein down
Oh,
there.
it says here, or in the chat, Rewind Mike is saying that the trailer had nothing to do with the game. It was the vision of what he thinks of his company, he said in an interview after. Okay.
That's old Japanese dildo shit. Fuck them.
Yeah.
So tired of their fucking bullshit.
I mean, all I know is all those Norman Reedus fangirls are going to get their shirtless Norman Reedus video game. And then all those people who like shitting themselves from PT are hopefully going to get their PT game. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well,
Oh, yeah,
that
didn't
was
Nintendo,
E3
didn't
2016.
Nintendo do something?
Oh yeah, well, I guess
Didn't Nintendo do something? He played Zelda again.
Nintendo Blue.
Y'all have fun with that one. I'm just going to listen.
Well, I thought Pokemon Sun and Moon did look cool, but I mean, Pokemon games are always cool. It's a given. Not really much
It's
to
been
say besides that.
At least the bad one. Like, yeah, we can make the argument that the IP is a little bit stale and there haven't been any good Pokemon in a few generations.
Well,
But the games are...
Didn't they re-update the Pokemon with X and Y considerably, where it's like much more of a 3D look than it was in the previous? I don't have a 3DS, so I can't say. But
It's literally, it's if Pokemon Coliseum was a Pokemon game, you know. So it feels that's awesome.
that's cool enough. I haven't played a Pokemon game since like Pearl and Platinum, so I might be in for playing a new one at this point.
They're really good. There's something I'm hyped about. New Zelda game looks fucking amazing and is apparently a blast to play. Open world Zelda is a concept that I'm super into. Don't get me wrong. The Zelda formula is classic, and it's a formula for a reason. I mean, it worked in Darksiders, you know what I mean? But it'll be fun to see an open world Zelda game. I think that's pretty cool.
There is one thing worth mentioning about Pokemon 2, is it takes place in Hawaii, so you can literally roleplay as Andrew Hayden.
Metro Island game.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a Pokemon trainer named Andrew, and I'm going to hang out in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, and also, what do they end their thing with? Oh yeah, amiibos, more amiibos.
Ugh.
Hell yeah. Amiibos for my wall. Yeah, that's good.
No.
Nintendo. Oh man, Nintendo. I swear, I wish I had the right words for it. Some bodily function being sucked through something terribly.
No, I think it's the best subtitle there. Nintendo. Fuck.
Fuck,
Well,
man.
I mean, think about it. The supposed king of video games. We see her talk for 2 fucking hours, and we can barely come up with nearly 5 minutes on the supposed king of video games.
Well, I mean, we could get into Zelda a lot more if we really wanted to. I mean,
Why would we, though? It's Zelda. People play Zelda are going to buy it. People who don't play Zelda are not going to buy it. That's all there is to it. It's not going to convert anybody to fucking buy their shitty hardware. It's not going to happen.
I haven't played a Zelda since Wind Waker, and this one actually has me interested in actually wanting to play
If
it.
you missed Twilight Princess, dude, you missed a good fucking Zelda.
I played
in my
little bit
opinion,
of Twilight.
Twilight
I watched Mary play through the whole thing, but
Some of the best dungeon design in the entire franchise, in my opinion. But I am extremely hyped for this new Zelda game.
Pastful Life.
Dude, Link Between Worlds is fucking great too. Oh my god! But
It's the swan song for their console generation, so I hope you enjoy it.
Well, I just really wish they had shown the NX.
No, that would make sense, because then we could actually talk about Nintendo and how they're on top.
I don't honestly think it's that far into development yet. I mean, like, think about how long it took them to develop the fucking GameCube, Project Dolphin, you know?
Yeah, that turned out great.
I didn't think it was great. I'm just saying, I think it takes them a long time to do it.
Oh yeah, and EA has Star Wars. Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah.
that was Multitapped's podcast on E3 2016. Going over the roster of who we have and where we can find you. What was that?
Who you want to start with?
Is that me?
Let's start with...
Sarcasm? We're actually just ending on E3 or fucking EA suck end of conference.
Yep.
I was gonna say EA was Star Wars Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. Oh, and they do charities. Good night, everybody. Be sure
Titanfall
to
2 does
tip
look
your
sick with that
waitress.
single player.
Titanfall, yeah, I gotta admit, like, Titanfall is not a series I've played, but I can see why people want another one, and I see there is an appeal to the Titanfall series for sure.
Well, okay, Dubious and I actually played a bit of Titanfall, and so did my roommate. The game plays really well. The problem with Titanfall is that it was a fucking demo. There was no content for it at all. It was a joke. There was nothing to unlock. There was no balancing, but it was a really fun game. So if they're releasing another Titanfall and they're actually going to have like more mechs and more guns and more...
I think the infantry movement looks great. The parkour elements look fantastic. I think all of it looks really solid. So I think it's good.
The one thing that cracked me up is they asked them if they're going to release Titanfall 1 on PS4, and EA was basically, you don't need to play Titanfall 1. That didn't happen. You just go play part 2. That's fine. So,
well, if
I guess whatever they did
one
in
gun for each class of gun, that would be really great. That first one had no depth.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was a fun game, mechanically speaking. It's the Evolve syndrome. Evolve is an extremely fun game. It's just...
There's no content.
It's fucked, so you can't play. It's like they're fucked in different reasons. Evolve's fucked because you have to pay $6,000 to get all the content.
Yeah.
And Titanfall was fucked just because there was no content at all. You couldn't buy it if it existed. So...
And now that's the multi-tap podcast.
The Multitapped
So it was
State
like-
of Video Games 2016.
To last year's E3, where I'm pretty sure it was literally fuck this game, fuck this game, fuck this game, Splatoon, and then that was the whole.
Yeah, that was a fucking debacle.
Yeah, 'cause last year's E3 was just absolutely horrific. At least this year was interesting. Like we actually had something to talk about.
It may have been mediocre overall, but there's some nice gems in every single press conference, I thought. So there's stuff out there to play. It's an optimistic year for strictly games. There's some good games on the horizon, I think. So
It's a very
That's my
pessimistic
final
year if
call.
you're an Xbox One owner.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I guess I'm not an owner, so I don't know. So
I'm thinking about selling mine.
As an
I'll put it
Xbox
that way.
One
After
owner,
that conference, I'm thinking about selling my Xbox One.
Microsoft continuously putting up weak E3 showings for the third year in a row now.
Yeah. It's I mean, like I said, I have a gaming PC. I don't need an Xbox One anymore. I can anything that's exclusive I can play on my PC.
I mean, now officially so. So
Yep. So fuck them. Word. Well, let's go ahead and close down this podcast, and hopefully we'll get a lot of hate mail in the comments from all of our opinions.
I just hope people roast Popka for trying to gloss over Last Guardian. That's all I want to see. Jesus.
Yeah,
I would love it if I would
hashtag
love
roast
it if the
Vodka
comments.
2016.
And then,
Back test your might.
and then all the comments are like, "Yeah, he had a point. Yeah, we know it's coming out. That's great. Next."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's the only point, but it's coming out.
I mean, I didn't say I wasn't excited. I was just like, October. Okay, cool. Thanks.
I still like that Resident Evil 5. Yeah, right.
No, that
Yeah,
was
right.
priceless. January
E3
2017.
multi-tapped E3 podcast. You're right.
Yeah, right.
Also, still holding my breath for No Man's Sky to be a failure. Sorry, just
Listen,
don't get me
I
wrong. It
was
looks
trying.
on it, everything, but there's no way, dude. The second I saw that article being like, it would take you billions of years to visit every planet, 90% of the game will never be explored, I'm gonna be like, okay, this game's gonna fucking bomb. Like,
And you noticed I only hyped a single game this whole time when I know it's going to be good. Instead of being like, No Man's Sky took my money. That's what I did the first year they showed us No Man's Sky. And
Like,
now I'm like, I don't know if that game's ever going to come out at this point. Because it
It's-
disappeared.
disability. Like, there's no way, you know?
Wrap it up.
I'm on the internet. That's where you can find me.
Yep. Yeah. So
I
let's
am
go over who you just listened to for the last 90 minutes ramble about nothing really that important. Let's go ahead and start with One Eye. Where can people find you online?
Well, for me, there's a couple places. You can always reach me on Twitter over at NA1I. I'm normally really responsive on there. It's an easy place to get a hold of me. I also do stream daily during the week, Monday through Fridays, over at Veritech Stream on YouTube. So go ahead and look at Veritech. It's the first channel. You can find me there. And then also on Fridays, I do a podcast called The Guardians, which focuses primarily on Overwatch and Overwatch content. And love having people there. So please feel free to stop by.
Right on. Up next is Jay, the Dolly Popka. Where can people find you online?
You can find me at the worldwide internets on youtube.com/DollyPopka. I'm also streaming now on Twitch, same username. Haven't been doing it for very long. I'm basically been streaming Xbox games. I mean, I do take requests from time to time, but and also you can find me on the usual Facebook, Twitter stuff. I'm there too. So,
All right. And last but not least of these three gentlemen, Joshua Tiberius. Can people still find you?
You can find the silky southern salt mine at one place on the internet, youtube.com/Joshua Tiberius. All of their social media is cancer. So if you care to see my one review every 6 months, you'll come by there.
Right on. And I am Jay Dubious of Dubious Gaming Online from YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And you can feel free to contact me on Twitter and let me know how bad this podcast was. The Multitapped podcast does post. It should be up tomorrow on YouTube. It posts usually the day after it airs on the YouTube and shortly after on our Podbean service, which gets the audio version out to iTunes and any other service that you might want to listen to us on. So, anyways, so that was E3 2016. We are multitapped still, theoretically. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see
Thank
you
you for
week.
watching the EA conference.